I got to say, New Amsterdam Radio is brought to you part by Anchor FM. Have you ever thought about making your own podcast? You see, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? And most importantly, I don't want to deal with cables and wires and all those things. You see, the answer to every single one of these questions is pretty simple. Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And you can use your phone, which is pretty awesome. Now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. So if you ever wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello everyone, once again this is New Amsterdam Radio. I'm Flobo Boys and I'm your host. This is the show where we take things that are happening with the world around us and try to make sense of it from the creative perspective. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since we last spoke, about a week or so since the last episode. Let me know how you're feeling and what you're working on by hitting me up on Twitter at Flobo Boys or on Instagram at Flobito, or hit me up also at flobito.com is the website. Now, in today's episode, I got to interview one of my bestest friends in all the left coast, west coast shenanigans, Jonathan Bowles. It feels like I knew this guy for 20 years, making it happen, and whether it's in Austin, Texas, or in the Bayou, Louisiana, this guy always finds a solution, always finds an escape plan. Always a pleasure to sit down with him, and his story is one, I don't want to say inspiring because that word has become kind of trite, but I always feel energized, empowered after sitting there and chatting with the guy himself. And I got a little bit of an interview for you coming up in a second. Just want to say that if you haven't already, make sure you check me out on Patreon. That's right, I launched a Patreon at patreon.com/FloboBoys, where we're going to have some bonus content, including an extra edition of New Amsterdam every month. And this month's edition is the unabridged interview with Jonathan Bowles. So if you like today's snippets, these clippets, make sure you check out the Patreon for the entire interview unabridged. In the meantime, though, sit back and relax, and let's get to know Jonathan Bowles. Welcome back to New Amsterdam Radio. I am joined by someone who was joining this podcast for the first time, but he has been on 26 Stone a number of times. Give it to the man himself, the pirate, Johnny B. Jonathan Bowles, how are you this morning?
Man, I'm good, dude. I'm one of them OG stoners, man. An OG 26 stoner.
That's true, man. And it's funny, too, because when I made New Amsterdam Radio, I was like, I'm not doing guests at all. Forget it. But what I'm doing, it's like you need someone to show how it is on the ground and how you're working. So I appreciate you taking the time out to be the first cross-platform star when it comes down to
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I'm the Deion Sanders of Flobo's podcasts. Yeah. Both. Two sport athlete over here.
That's true. Now, I've tried to do this at parties, but can you tell the world out there, how will you describe what you do for a living, sir?
Yeah, no, man. That's something that I even struggle with doing. And so what I've done is I've just kind of boiled it down now to a little bit more of like, I say things that kind of get them to ask more questions, right? So if I had to put it in, it kind of depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to somebody that I don't really want to engage with, I'm like, oh, I own a clothing brand, and a production company, that's about it. But then if it's somebody that I kind of want to talk to, invest with, so that's my short answer. That's my on the road, meeting in the checkout stand type of answer. But if I'm at a more social type thing where we're trying to build relationship, get to know people and stuff like that, I say that, man, I like to make things happen. I'm a make it happen person. Other phrase I use, I'm a professional encourager. I am the pastor of disaster. I have boiled it down to 4 actual like actions. I make friends, I tell stories, I give gifts, and I throw parties. And those are my 4 things. So yeah, in the simplest terms, yeah, I run a clothing brand and I consult for other brands. And that kind of leads into, we do a lot of creative consulting, we do a lot of production work, shipping and fulfillment. But, if you had to put like just one big overarching thing, I make stuff happen. But at the heart of that is making stuff happen for other people.
But what you're doing now can be described as paraphernalia, if I can be so bold. What does your business look like now? And if you could touch upon expanding that business and where it's going, it'd be great.
Yeah, no, dude, you're absolutely right. The Grand Theft Auto example is it feels like if you're really living your life day to day and like you're just out there trying and like you just never know what little connection is going to lead to this or that or this or that. And so like, I mean, it started out as doing the wrestling underwear thing. That took off because CM Punk bought me pancakes. You can hear about that literally on any other podcast I've ever done. And then that developed relationships where I ended up starting a secondary brand called Lapel Yeah. Then that opened up relationships where I started making merchandise for other people. That led to me purchasing a subscription box business that was a total and complete disaster.
It wasn't that bad.
No, well, I mean, it ended in total and complete disaster.
Fair.
But then that led to me really doubling down on the Lapel Yeah brand, which then just over time, over the last year, has really kind of put us on the map as great people to work with when it comes to making things happen in your brand and doing that kind of stuff. So we, have relationships with so many different performers and companies and promotions. And so, we have big companies come to us. They're like, okay, we want to sell merchandise online. What do we do? And we literally go from building the online store, designing all of their merchandise, producing all of it, marketing all of it, and then selling it online for them, and then fulfilling the orders when they come in. And we do that for anywhere between 5 and 6 large brands or promotions. And it's it's really, really cool what it's allowed us to do. But even more so, it's kind of put us on the map as people that are able to create experiences for people. I like to sell t-shirts and dumb stuff and that's fun for me, but it's more about the feeling that we're able to give people. And specifically, I mean, right now with everything shut down, it's no fun at all, but like that live experience where you go into a place and you see something that like makes you smile and, oh, I want that. And then the interaction that you have with those people. And, then that's kind of like, that's what I mostly do right now. But it has begun because of who I am and where I come from and just kind of the attitude that I have about things. It's kind of become a blend of like this personality and this passion that I have to just help people figure out what they want to do and make it happen is kind of mixed with this brand that I have that is really based in helping people helping people make and grow the brands that they want. It's kind of like this both sides thing where now like I'm doing a lot of like coaching and, ultimately the goal is to like be somewhere between a Tony Robbins, Oprah, Russell brand, but then also have this, business thing as well where we're able to like create and grow these cool brands and make and produce fun stuff. I want to own some restaurants. I want to get into some real estate, just build a huge empire. You know what I mean? But so right now, what it really looks like is us, being hired to create great experiences for companies and personalities to give their customer base, their fan base, a great experience when it comes to merchandise and being a fan of whatever it is that they're doing, you know?
There's always I guess not say always, but for a lot of people in the creative space, there is that feeling of, man, that big assignment or that big project fell through because of this. And it's very easy to get in your own head about that, like a very existential crisis. As someone like myself, I had two comedy shows, one in Alaska this month and one in Japan tonight that didn't happen.
Oh my God.
Because of this. And it is kind of a crisis we're kind of in, because we're basically being told what is considered essential. And it's not to say that doctors and construction workers aren't essential, but as a creative, it is kind of weird being told, like, yeah, you can wait, or you can do things online, can't you? But can't you? I don't know how you deal with that on the mental side. I know you're saying you're just you and the dog, and it's pretty rough, but like strictly from creating and coming up with new ideas, how has the Rona affected that?
Well, look, I'll tell you this is I'm gonna brag. I'm gonna put myself over a little bit.
Well, that's what you're here, baby.
Because that week the week we found out that WrestleMania was going to be canceled,
Was it canceled?
Well, yeah, no, I mean all of our events,
right?
All of the things that we were going to do were canceled, and I got a really bad attitude. I was really down, just in mostly like I don't know how to pivot here. I don't know what to do, and. Then, this is so weird. A friend of mine, Justin Dillon, shout out the Wrestling Classic, he posted this video of a Seth Rollins promo, and Rollins said, "Under pressure, I become a god." And I saw that, and I was like, "You damn right." And something got like in my guts, and I just was like, you know what? We're doing it. I somehow am going to bring in as much money as we normally would have had we been there, and I'm somehow going to do it all online. And at that point, this was on Thursday, before that WrestleMania week, right? And so at that point, I had one idea. I want to do a coloring book, and that was really all I thought. And somehow, between Thursday and Monday, we came up with 5 different product drops for the entire week. And we dropped between 1 and 5 new products every day for 5 days. We did a virtual 5K, which was the number one selling product other than the $3 t-shirts.
Mine came in yesterday in my virtual medal and t-shirt for running that.
Nice.
5K.
Dude, those came out really good, right?
Yeah.
So good.
Add to my collection.
Yeah. And dude, it just was this, like, out of nowhere, the pressure and the, like, and also too, like, financially, I needed to have a big week if I was going to continue to be able to pay the people that work for me and continue to operate and pay my rent. Like, I needed, like, because a lot of our business had just slowed all the way down. And, bruh, I'm not going to lie. We put out some of the coolest stuff we've ever put out before. And we had the largest week of sales we had ever had in a 5-day period by nearly double. And we had people all over the world that signed up for that 5K race. And so on WrestleMania Sunday morning, we had people all over the planet that were running and taking pictures and posted about it and being a part of it. And just the support that we saw from everybody. We raised $1,500 for the Go Get 'Em Tiger Relief Fund. I had to cut my hair like the Tiger King. It just...
Oh, you cut your hair for a reason. I thought you were just being John Bowles. That's the kind of brand you are, man.
Right. No, man, it's so funny. I got so many messages from people being like, dude, it looks so good. This is great. And I was like, guys, don't encourage me.
My ex-girlfriend actually texted me out of nowhere. She's like, what's wrong with your boy? I'm like, babe, I don't know.
Isn't that funny,
cool
bro?
Cats and kittens, yeah.
Yeah, dude. But no, it just, so creatively, it forced me to have to get not just out of the box, but to like literally burn the box down. And we literally, I mean, normally when we do a product drop, we drop one shirt, maybe a shirt and a this and a that. But in those 5 days, we dropped, I want to say, like, if we went like item for item, it was 27 new products in 5 days.
Whoa.
And none of which were designed ahead of time, with the exception of a couple pins. And so literally, there was one night where, and just working with it the whole time. And I've got just a great team of people that help me pull this stuff off. And we literally at 3:16 in the morning, about 5 hours before the product was supposed to go live, we totally scrapped an idea and started it over. Just because it's not quite it. It's not quite right. And so we were going for it. And I'm really proud of what we were able to do, because in a week where literally nothing was going to be happening for us at all, we doubled down and we just went buck wild with it. So creatively, it has caused me to have to get really, really aggressive, and that's been good. That's been good, because now, I feel like we kind of broke through into another level, and it apparently, people are here for it. They want it. A lot of the interaction that we got during that whole week, we had more web traffic on our website than ever before. And, in addition to all these other stores that we run, there's companies that we are working with that they are huge amounts of money in the hole because of the cancellations of their events and people holding their money and deposits and things like that, and not being able to move forward. So we've really been able to help them, kind of stay afloat by making sure that they're bringing in money online and creating new products for them. So creatively, it's been very stretching. Emotionally, it's been stretching, financially, but creatively. And it goes to show that and also too, just all the online content, that you're seeing right now, because people are just living on their phones. And just, I feel that while it may not be essential for the day-to-day continuation, it certainly does make the day-to-day a lot better. And that's the cool part about the creative process, about the creative thing, is that it really can happen in whatever way, There's some things that don't really work. I've seen a couple people try to do online stand-up shows and stuff to an empty room.
Don't get me started on those, bro.
Yeah,
Please don't get me started.
Dude, that's no good. And then even too, I feel even just take WrestleMania, and this literally the only wrestling that I've watched in I cannot remember how long, the Boneyard match that they did at WrestleMania. All those matches that happened in the arena, in the empty arena, just bro, this is so weird. This is not it. This is not great. It could have been so much more. But then that Boneyard match was completely out of the box, better than anything they had ever done, and one of my favorite things I've ever seen, when it comes to professional wrestling and how it's presented. And so I feel in a lot of ways, if you're here for it, then creatively this could be just think of how much better and how much bigger things are going to be when this is over. We are able to go back, but we've stretched ourselves in a manner to learn new things, open new avenues, make new connections, that kind of stuff. So, now I know, you know what? I can drop 30 products in a week and have it go really well, So,
Johnny B, I want to thank you so much for coming on New Amsterdam Radio. Can you do the world a favor and tell the world where they can find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out Lapel Yeah, my clothing brand and kind of little lemonade stand on the internet. That's at Lapel Yeah on Instagram. We've got Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, but Instagram is where the fun is. And the website is lapelyeah.com. Right now, I think the Ring of Honor collection is the only thing that we have available. We'll probably have some more stuff coming up here in the next month or so that'll be new. And then my personal is at Jonathan Bowles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. And then I got a new website that'll probably be up here in the next couple of days as well. So
thank you so much for listening to this edition of New Amsterdam Radio. I am going to promise that I'm going to have more of Johnny B, Jonathan Bowles, on future editions, future episodes. So make sure you check him out online on all of his social media networks. As for me, this is a show for you, for creatives, for people that have the key to the city. Learn more about what we do at newamsterdam.com. And again, follow me over at Twitter at FlowboBoys, on Instagram at Flowbito, and the website is flowbito.com. If you want to hear more with our interview with Jonathan Bowles, make sure you check out the Patreon at patreon.com/FlowboBoys. We got some exclusive content over there, so please like, comment, subscribe, support to get premium content like that and other content coming down the pipe. And of course, until next time, the city is yours.